It's kind of good, but I'm really five shots and yeah, well, it's rubber mallory. So it was, that was sweet. Seems like it's. There's and that's oh. That's another program. That's for June and for some reason. Well, they're not expecting us to be. Okay. They want to get to. So, like, I know, certainly a little flip flop. No. Yes. So, well, we're still all. Oh. Yes. Oh, good, thank you. Oh, all right, so we gotta get this gentleman to sit down. We have a guest, Kalanui, is gonna open our meeting for us this week and say a prayer for us before we get going. And then later she's gonna speak. Just, we have a microphone right here. We can come up. Yeah, once we get this back. The cookie's down. Put the cookie down. I don't think I need a microphone. Right there. If you don't want to. This way you can be seen on camera. Move it around. Oh, sure. Well, hello everyone. I'm here to offer a prayer for our meeting. This prayer, MOI, you're probably familiar with MOI. And MOI is we ask our ancestors and our source and our highest being to bless us with wisdom. When we come together, we seek wisdom, we seek intelligence, we seek respect for each other, and that each voice is a voice of reason. And so when we come together, we want to be in a spirit of unity. And that way we will be able to hear each other. And we see, that which is our community. I believe that's why we're here, to come together to seek the best for our community. And we're moving into a new time where we are shifting our minds into working together and not dividing ourselves. So Egomai, 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 Namaste. Master of wisdom and God. These are the things that unseen and hidden that are made known to each of us. Now we're calling the light. We'll get the meeting going. Want to do roll call? Janice Becker. Present. Roll call. Oh, present, yes. Wait, no. Yes. Smiley Charles. Here, present. Richard Zillen. Yes. And you are new. What's your name? Mary Barrow. Present. Scale.
All present, quorum.
Yeah.
If you want to, just mention what's on the board here, we do our minutes.
Well, on the back of the agendas, if you grab one up at the table, there's a list of things that we're trying to practice to have peaceful meetings, orderly meetings where everybody's heard. And I wrote some things up on the board, just as a reminder, please respect the rules. Raise your hand to be recognized by the chair. Richard is the chair. Present questions to the chair. And importantly, no interruptions to the business portion of the meeting. You try to delineate between board business when we're discussing issues, and then toward the latter half of the meeting, we opened up to open forum where people are recognized and they come to the podium and speak. And again, once you're at the podium, the idea is to direct questions to Richard, and Richard can delegate or whatever. He's pretty much the delegator. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's all I was going to say about that. And okay, yeah.
Okay, and minutes, we need to approve minutes from last month.
Right.
They were distributed by the board members by email, and if there's corrections, Rod had some corrections he already sent out to us.
Right.
If there's no other anything otherwise than that, we will approve the minutes.
Okay.
Rod,
I'm just saying I did not see those corrections entered anywhere.
Right.
And how are you going to reflect them for the community?
I felt that the minutes were accurate the way they were recorded.
Okay, then I need to make comments.
Okay.
Comments on the October 9th. You said a minor revision by Rod. Did you state what that revision was?
What's it in regard to when you were speaking about the grant?
No, this is, I call it a major revision. This concerns your motion to count the ballots late. And you can't do that because it's a violation of state statute. I just don't want down the road a future board to look back at the records and say we could do that because a previous board did that.
Rod, do you want me to respond individually or wait till you're done?
You may respond, yes.
Okay, I believe Jim Friedman cleared that up with you, and that there was a process by when the ballots came in, they were time-stamped by the office staff, and there was none received after the final thing, the same as if it was nominations coming in on the 30th of this month. There's no exceptions for late nominations, so I'm pretty sure Jim had this conversation last month regarding assuring you that there was no additional ballots counted. There was some in question, and up to the very last minute, I worked with him to find the information. I believe it was on several, and some of the office staff helped us clarify that, but we felt that we did it by the book. That's my recollection. And
Thank you. I just want to make a point on the treasurer's report. You have the savings and reserves the same amount. Make sure you understand there's a difference, Janice, between the reserve account and the recreation account.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I say there's not a recreation account, I don't see that. I see a reserve.
There's 3 bank accounts, HFC, there's a checking reserve, and then the third one, the 30,000, I believe it says money market, it's actually a reserve.
And then so you're saying the 57 is the
57 reserve, the recreation is 30.
Money manager.
Yeah, the money manager.
Right. The reserve account is the 107. Money manager is the rec account 1008.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what I thought.
That's how I brought it up from the other system.
yeah.
Never said
It's just on the newsletter, page 5, it says that the cell tower revenue and transfer fees used to replenish our depleted reserves. It's used to replenish the recreation account.
Oh, okay.
We had a problem about 5 years ago with the board that
Well, I've been
Basically
moving
took all the
it
money.
in because it's just been going to the regular checking account for 2 years.
I just want it on the record, you know what is what. Thank you.
Okay, so then, you're satisfied then with the corrections file?
I'm very satisfied that in your current agenda, you refer to things as working groups and not committees. I like that.
So let's have,
Yes, thank you.
let's approve the minutes of last meeting, give it out like Rhonda. You second? Okay, and everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 1, 2, 3, okay, unanimous, all right, thank you. Reports, President's report first. I had, since last board meeting, I actually had a real nice month. I had dental work done in Thailand, 2 weeks, went on vacation and wasn't getting forwarded all this trash mail that's on some of the trash websites out there, you know, people getting after it. That was a real great break for 2 weeks, not to see any part of that stuff. We've been working since then, getting, we're putting up new cameras and old cameras. The camera system had never worked right for us, and we've been really struggling with it. You can hear the alarms going, still beeping here, we still got some work to do. We've got some more cameras coming in and some memory cards coming in, but we've got cameras up on the exterior, covering everything, including the back of the building. We have people getting into the electric panel and people cutting the cable back there, so we've added some cameras. Those are all working now, and so just I guess there's a couple here inside, which I didn't realize we had. And, but we've got the cameras pretty well figured out, and then we're gonna cancel the alert alarm portion of their bill, which is $150 a month for the camera, their old cameras. And we'll give all the cameras back to them, so that we're just running that one out. The map on the wall here, we just updated that like 2 days ago. That is current as of 2 days ago of the county-owned lots. So you can see a lot of the yellow now, they're kind of figured, but anyway, that's the county's got like 250 now, where it was 188, now they got like 250 on there. So everything on there that's marked yellow is county-owned. And so they own a huge part of our subdivision now. And anyway, so that's current. We hope to get the Neighborhood Watch grant money at some point, but we've got some small repairs we're just not gonna wait on anymore. One of them is the lighting in the pavilion. Some of the lights aren't working now, and Monday night pickleball, they can only play on the far side of the courts now. So anyway, we are going to put up new lights in the pavilion. And just use Leilani funds for that. It's not really expensive for it.
Is that going to be mostly volunteer, so the contractor?
It's all volunteer, yeah. They just plug in, the lights just plug in.
Okay.
Take down the old ones and plug up the new ones. So yeah, we're gonna put new lights in.
Is
Other
that
thing-
going to affect,
What's that?
is that going to affect the grant though, because it needs to be put in?
Yeah.
We didn't put in for any electric in the back, okay, we won't.
It was just repairs of that pavilions, whatever that means, so. And then the second bathroom, the floor tile in there has been terrible for 10 years. We had a volunteer before that wanted really bad to help us out after we remodeled the bathroom, and he put down the tile and used the actual cement as his grout. It's just, anyway, the floor in the second bathroom is terrible, so we are gonna go ahead and tear out that tile and retile that floor. Again, it's minimal cost, it's just volunteers doing it, so we're just not gonna wait anymore. Our maintenance person, Michael, has pointed out that the building is really ate up with termites. In some areas, the siding on the outside is like shredded, where the termites are just completely in the building. Mark O'Neill's been working on this past weekend on the tractor building, and some parts of that are ate up with termites. So anyway, we're gonna get this building and that building tinted. And we're getting quotes now. I got one quote coming tomorrow, another one on Monday. And we'll decide who we're gonna use, but we're gonna have it tinted during the month of January. So the candidates, until we accept their quote, they anyway, both of them said they could do it in January, so during January, we'll get the building, and then we'll go through and start repairing those areas that are really bad. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. We've got a lot more issues, but the different committees, working groups, so we'll be speaking to those.
Two things. One, you answered me in an email that Rod and Al require document requests to notarize. So yes, we require the same from them as a policy of our office. That's incorrect. It was the 2019-2020 board that required notarization. I put information request in for that policy. Haven't gotten a reply yet. I need that policy so I can possibly challenge it, or you could retract that there is a policy that violates state statute.
Yeah, we'll live by the same policy, but I'll give you a response on that.
Thank you. The other,
I'm sorry.
I have tiles that are 18 by 18 inch square that I was gonna give to a community member. He hasn't picked them up. There's enough to do that bathroom plus others left over.
Are they light colored? Any kind of light color?
Yeah, light color.
We'll take them. We'll take them.
Well, I have 60, you probably only need 20, but I can get it. I'll come down tomorrow and do a measurement.
Yeah, we'll take them. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you. I just wanted to add something that, Richard was talking about the camera work. I wanted to recognize that our webmaster, videographer / general all-around handy guy, also contributed an enormous amount of time to do the cameras. And I want to applaud Brian for that.
Keep pieces on order, so, but yeah.
And when the tile comes up in the bathroom, it's an opportune time to paint. I have paint I can donate. And just in reference, Rod, to what you were saying a minute ago, this is a letter your attorney at the time for the countersuit, and he sent me a letter. This is, I highlighted some things that address what he has asked. So this is dated, December 11th, 2024. It says, in connection with responding to your request for documents of the association requires that you provide an executed version of the enclosed form of affidavit. Please have the affidavit executed and return signed affidavit to our office. Upon receipt the executed affidavit, you will be providing in writing the costs for providing you with copies of the documents. If that is your request, you may thereafter determine whether to withdraw your request or make payment to receive copies. Please be aware that certain of the documents that you have requested may contain information that may be deemed confidential or otherwise sensitive information, and the documents may be redacted prior to said copies. So while you guys were president, treasurer, and secretary, this was the policy put forth by the attorney and I for my family to require to get information. As a letter addressed to our
Who is that letter written to?
Is me, my family.
Pardon?
Me.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Family members want.
Because there was another member who was doing a request to sound like a letter like that, where he was using his own letters and quoting a bunch of things that so he didn't have to do.
So it wasn't necessarily a board from 5 years ago that practiced this and it was ended, it continues, and we, I will speak as far as the secretary goes, that we're doing our best to provide information at no cost in a reasonable time frame without these types of stipulations. So that's all I want to say. I'd like to carry that forward and be as open as we can.
Vice President report.
So I have great news. As of today, both lawsuits have been officially over. Please, may we keep it that way.
Yeah.
And the other piece of agenda that I've been working on is a grant that will be turned in tomorrow, given that my board all agree and can sign, which it's to reestablish an alternate safety route out of Leilani Estates to Kohiki Road. So we have Ikaika Marzo on board to do the contracting, and John Younger and Evan Wallman to do the engineering and the surveying. And I'll watch them and pretend I'm managing anything if need be, but mainly to keep course on the phases. And they've allocated $6 million. This is the last of 17 million that was distributed for the victims of the Kilauea eruption. So we deserve this money, and we're asking for the full 500,000 to make this road appropriately usable. And send some prayers. I have a great grant writer, Marika Litka, that helped me all week get everything completed, and we're submitting it tomorrow with the help of Robert Golden's Puna Rising nonprofit. We needed a 501c3, and we were really lucky they took us on. So yeah, we will probably find out whether or not we're accepted with the funding in January. And they're gonna get hopefully, get a new road in here and agree that it's gonna be serving over 2,000 people on a regular basis, and create a safety route. So it's specifically a perfect project for this grant, and it is in regarding our restoration of our roads and access. So we're just trying our best to make sure we've got everything covered, and it'll be submitted tomorrow.
Nice.
Is it okay if we sign this
Yeah.
now? Okay. Okay, so the James Penny et al. 23 others lawsuit, against Alan Morrow, Janet Morrow, and Rod Kendall was dismissed by the judge with prejudice on 10/29/2025. Although Morrow and Kendall did everything they could think of to extend the case. Whoever heard of defendants wanting to extend the lawsuit against them? The judge issued his final order with prejudice means this particular lawsuit has been settled and can never be brought up again. Mr. Penny and the other plaintiffs have been trying to settle the lawsuit since last October. Mr. Penny and the others paid their own legal fees while Morrow's and Rod Kendall tried to use Leilani's monies through directors and officers insurance, although whether that is still in dispute. The lawsuit brought by Al, Rod, and Janet against 5 Leilani members was settled with prejudice yesterday afternoon when Judge Nakamoto signed the motion. It was posted this morning at 8 a.m. The original lawsuit was brought by an attorney hired by Al and Rod, but he and his law firm withdrew on 9/15. As you all may recall, the membership voted at the annual members meeting to drop all lawsuits. Leilani is finally free from this burden which has divided the community. And I'm the messenger.
Thank you so much.
Shoot the rise.
Oh,
I believe there's a lot of inaccuracies in that. I would like a copy of it, so I can study it. Thank you.
So I have a question for Smiley, regarding the grant.
Yes.
Is the grant writer doing that for long?
The grant writer, Robert Golden's, so the fiscal sponsor receives 10% of the funding. And they've given allotment for 3% of that 10% to go to the grant writer. So very gifted from those guys to fund it through their nonprofit. Yeah. Good for them.
Treasury report.
Okay, oh, that's me. Deep breath. So I met with Janice here earlier this week. I was happy to see the windows open, doors open, business happening in the office. Kimberly busy in there doing what she does best. I got to chat with her for a few minutes before Janice and I talked, and she showed me notebooks and binders full of incorrect information that was mind-boggling to me. So it went for me from, oh, this is such a great feeling, to then I went and talked with Janice and she showed me some numbers, and it was jaw-dropping, quite frankly. You know, I don't know how to start.
Well, you got a new bank account.
Treasurer's report, should I just read this part first?
Yeah.
Because at the end, I want to make a motion in regards to what we're
Yearly thing.
membership record, the association membership list is approximately 95% updated. All entries have been verified against county records to ensure accuracy. I think that also means that by about tomorrow, that's got to be the final membership list that goes to election day.
Yeah, there's still a few more escrows that are happening, but this is the closest it's been in
Sure,
a long,
sure.
long time.
And that'll go to election buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
The
good.
only ones we have issues with is Japanese, Philippines, Bahamas.
Sure.
It's tough to track in.
Yeah. Data transfer to new accounting system. Staff are transferring verified information from the old system into the new QuickBooks platform. This is required before issuing the 2026 invoices. Process has been slow due to inaccurate lot, block, and TMK numbers requiring manual review. Lava lots, classification corrections. Several lots were previously misclassified as lava lots, resulting in incorrect billing since 2020. Each member record is being cross-checked with the official lava lot committee list before being entered into the new system. Deposit, review, and posting deposits from 2023 through the present are under review and being posted. Many entries lack check numbers or member names, requiring additional research before processing. Scanning and records management, document scanning continues, including accounts payable, escrow packets, deposits, payroll, correspondence, and minutes. Volunteer assistance, 2 volunteers have offered in scanning. They will work only with non-personal and non-classified materials. Their support will reduce workload on office personnel and allow staff to focus on more time-sensitive tasks. This is just what she showed me the other day that blew my mind, and I'd like her to look at it that cares to later.
You should read some of it. You gotta read the banking, the money in the bank.
Yep. Okay. So this is the banking account, you know, all the numbers of bank accounts, yeah? Bank of Hawaii checking, 144,429.25. Bank of Hawaii savings, 28,609.58. HFSU checking, 4,585.42. HFSU reserve, 57,379.02. HSFU recreation, 30,164.39. Interest earned 0.81 cents.
Rattle it in.
Dollars.
It's just this weird little account in my credit union.
Total funds in bank, 2,065,328.52.
Oh,
265.
265,328.52 cents.
which is not enough.
Which is what?
Not
We're
enough.
We're
But that
contributing.
thing would get to
Tucker
the end of the year.
benefits.
Well, last year we had $1 million, so I'm gonna bring that up.
Total
I'm sure it's
expenses.
somewhere.
Total expenses, $20,780.45. Expenses were higher this month due to the following additional payments. Election buddy online voting system, $1,625. First quarter taxes, previously unpaid, $2,521.94. Added up, retainer, Janice, 2,000. Hawaii third quarter taxes, $846.07. Total expenses for the month, $7,069.95.
Additional expenses,
Additional, okay,
that's why it's
Yes.
higher than mine.
thank you. This was, I think, the part that got me, the new discoveries, account findings, liens 2020 to 2025, 60 liens processed to date. Collectible amount, $79,644.23. Estimate loss, no liens filed from 2014 through 2019. $53,925.79. This review covered only the first 50 liens, an estimate of 160 to 200 more are expected. And it goes on to show some here, properties sold, owing at closing, never collected, sold in 2020, billed through 25, new owner, not entered into the system. Another one sold 2 properties in 2024, each owed $2,342.74, never collected funds through escrow. And one more example, sold 3 lots in 2022. One lot missing from new owner's record, wrong mailing address. So total loss on just 4 properties, $9,100. I don't know much.
There's many, many more.
Yes. Yes. I don't personally, other than, because of this, I would like to make a motion with discussion and wording that we have an annual employee review. Job description, whatever, because I just feel, for the last decade, the past presidents, treasurer, and supposed supervisor have dropped the ball in overseeing what happens in this office. I'm thrilled there are more than one person working in there that helps cover each other. Kimberly's covering for Cindy on vacation, so it's not just one person. And I'm thrilled that Janice is working on the accounting part of it, because I feel, just me, the treasurer in the board comes and goes, sometimes yearly. Someone in the office, I think, could be more steady and help the treasurer with things. So my motion would be to have an annual employee review. How we word that, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, second that, yeah, we already did that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
Denise in favor of that.
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion.
go
Sure.
ahead, Rod.
I think to do that, we need to have job descriptions. And
Yeah.
Janice, were you working on jobs?
I gave them out to.
Yeah, I have them here.
Yeah, we had those.
And the board will be able to read those?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, they're on the clipboards.
I have a question. So, hey, Rod, maybe correct me. So if we can pass that here for an annual review, but would that be binding on future boards?
Suppose if you make it a policy,
If
wouldn't
it's a policy.
Right.
Sure, yeah.
So we should make it, instead of just a motion, we probably need to create a policy.
Okay, well,
And then vote on that policy would be
Sure.
the proper way. Is that right, Rod?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's more.
I
expert.
totally agree, and I think it should, in my opinion, should also be done in January. So again, we're clearing up kind of business
Right.
for the new 2026 board,
I mean,
squared away.
we could vote for a
Policy.
motion right now, but it would only count, it would
Sure.
only bind this board unless
Thank
we
you.
make that policy.
I will let it go until,
I agree with the
Yep.
amendment that
Yep.
was proposed.
thank you.
Rich. I'd like to say that not only because of what Mary Ann has stated, But what I've also learned in speaking to employees that are working on these problems currently, arguably, the business end of this LCA has been overlooked so many years. That this is probably the first time that I can remember, the so many years I've lived here, that somebody that actually has accounting experience is directly involved in the books and not afraid to look at them. And I say this without blame to anybody specific in the past or whatnot. I think this is a blanket description of what I've seen, is that board members, volunteers, each and every one, are so busy with the tasks at hand that to really delve into the minutia of where's the money, what's missing, is this system working, is this system correct, to check out, having somebody to look and say, oh my God, this has no resemblance to reality. How is this going on like that? It's a godsend that somebody is looking into that, and furthermore, developing a checks and balance system that can be used as a blueprint going forward, because next year, whoever is in our seats, if they're starting from scratch, they're gonna need a tutor. They're absolutely screwed. They're gonna need a tutor to learn what is going on. And to just entrust that to anybody without accounting experience is a fool's bargain, you know?
I'll honestly say that, Kim needed help. From the scope of things putting in, especially after the eruption, where all the sales and everything else, it's a mind-boggling amount of stuff. And it's twofold. The board didn't recognize and she didn't state, hey, I can't get this done, can we bring in someone temporarily? And it would have cut down. But if I look back to 2019 or 2013 or far back, it's still a lot of missing stuff. But there should have been, especially after the billing, to get all the invoices in correctly. There's so many invoices missing that people haven't put in. And the sales and the stuff. Or she should have said, I can't do my 25 hours. This has to be from now a 40-hour work week until I get caught up. And the board should have also noticed what was missing in the system. And that's the problem. And that's why I share with you guys the reports and say, hey, look at them, make sure they're okay. This is what's happening. You know, tell you when I'm buying a box of checks. And, you know, there needs to be some policy going forward that the board is just as accountable as the person in that office.
Agreed.
We just made some bylaw changes based on motions from last year. And as we're looking at, what bylaw changes we need to make going, long term, one of those is in our bylaws says the secretary cannot be the treasurer. But the bylaw change we're gonna make is the president who's signing the checks cannot be the treasurer. Okay, because that's what it was the last 2 years, and that's why we're in a big hole we're in now.
Yeah.
So that is a bylaw change we're gonna make, is that the president cannot be the treasurer. Okay, it just doesn't work. Go ahead, secretary.
I think I lost the train of thought I
I'm
was going
sorry.
with. No.
It's my beauty.
No. I was stunned. Yeah, thank you for your words. Oh, so you wanted me to let you say
Secretary's report.
Okay, I thought I was supposed to say something back.
No, secretary report.
Okay,
Wait a minute, excuse me, final call of the motion, and then we'll.
oh yeah. We're gonna finish the motion
Oh.
that Mary Ann started.
Can I just redact it and we'll work on a policy?
I would
How do we
do,
do it?
okay, I would do the motion now, so we review it in January.
Okay.
And if someone has the time to write a policy, we can have a meeting to enact a policy.
Thank you. Sounds good. You get that?
I would agree with that.
Is that a second?
Motion.
Second.
Third,
Third,
No.
motion.
Thank you.
we have three employees.
Okay, secretary's report. Let's see, so We've been putting a lot of things on the website lately. There's a lot going on. Probably the most important is things that have deadlines. For example, we have election nomination forms that are on the web, and they must be submitted to the office at the end of day, November 30th. At the table in the corner over there, we also have copies if anybody wants to walk out with those. There's also agendas and minutes available for review up there. It's very clear, the nomination forms, they're self-explanatory, there's nothing tricky about it. Also on the web, we're continue to support members in the community who want to teach or bring something to the Longhouse, whether it's yoga. This week, a new music theory class is starting in this room. It'll be starting November 12th, and the purpose is to gain a better understanding of how music works. They don't necessarily come here to play instruments, but they talk about chord structure and that type of thing, and there's a booklet that's involved. So that will be happening soon.
That happened yesterday and today both, and they had a great turnout, great turnout in here.
The last 2 days was kind of an introductory to this class where people could get a grip of what it's about. And I guess, as Richard said, it was a good turnout. I wanted to thank Stacy Welch. She just sent me a message saying she couldn't be here. She took the time to submit about a dozen or more Halloween photos with kids and whatnot. So again, we try to put those things up on the web. I believe Marion, or perhaps Rich, mentioned that Cindy is on vacation for the entire month, and that Kimberly will be filling in as much as possible to fulfill her duties and whatnot.
Cindy's cruising, she's on a cruise.
Okay.
A month cruise?
In regard to other community stuff, we have a core group of people who stepped forward at the beginning of the year. At the time, Greg Armstrong was opening and closing the park and various duties, shutting lights on and off. Some of those things, so he resigned that position, and in order to save roughly $3,000 in change the entire year, 4 people have stepped forward to facilitate that. Certain people open up in the morning, sometimes it's Michael, our employee. Other times on the weekends, it could be Mary Ann. In the evening times, Jim, Penny, and Tom have been alternating to do it. And it's sometimes it's not the funnest task if it's pouring rain. You got to go out there, and oftentimes they come here, and there's people in various states. Could be sleeping in their car, out on the field, recreating.
Taking a shower in the bathroom.
Or, scrub-a-dub-dub in the bathroom, or the shower. And it's kind of trying at times, so we're looking for other people who want to have that fun. That would step forward. I'm not saying that they're not doing a good job, they just need therapy temporarily.
We need to let them off.
So if anybody, and Mark County also he helps, he's
Can I Mark always covers me every time I'm gone. I just ask, he always covers for me.
All
I
right.
don't have to ask anybody but Mark. That number is Ken.
So I will put my name into the hat to close when necessary. If somebody needs a sabbatical from it, I will do my part. There's very little training, unlocked. Lights in the pavilion now are automatic, so you don't have to, and I guess, involved is locking the bathroom doors, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and then checking this door, make sure everything's secure,
Set the alarm.
set the alarm.
Lock the gate.
I just want to lock from my back door, and I can lock it from my phone.
Oh, really?
I don't trust
Well,
them.
can you get our kids playing basketball?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So also, there's a park cleanup scheduled for January. It's a 2-day affair on the 6th and the 7th, and we're going to be doing an extensive cleanup above and beyond what Michael would normally do. It means going out to the various islands in the park that have a buildup of fronds, needs pruning. There's a number of trees that are encroaching on that side of the park, hanging over the pathway, things that could be easily cut back, pruned back, and it'll open up a lot of areas for perhaps planting fruit trees. So we're looking for people who want to come down with various tools and experience. There'll be refreshments. We've had one fellow from the community volunteer as backhoe, I understand, or some to that effect.
A tractor, I know.
A tractor, yeah. You know, anything else, pickup trucks or, you know, pole saws, chainsaws, whatever. Many hands make little work, so we're looking to have a sign up, and you can have a list in the office for
It's
people.
on the clipboard
Oh,
over
it's on the
there.
clipboard?
Over there.
Okay, all right. And then I just wanted to mention that Jim Friedman isn't here this evening, and so when it comes time for new business, I will read his portion of what he wanted to contribute, so that's it for me at this point.
Thank you. Moving on to working group reports, park maintenance beautification,
I guess, well, I'm representing Michael, and I guess we're a working group. I told him that, I said, we're having a secret meeting right now, just so you know. I came to see him Tuesday morning, because I had a couple questions for him. I have a bazillion ideas, and, you know, I'm always happy when he agrees with me. So one was, I would like to put a water fountain spigot out front here for after hours. You know, kids always come in here and drink this water, which is fine, but after hours, basketball players, for example. And the other thing I asked him about, which this will be my wish list for the 2026 board, both of them.
Just real quick, he's talking about like a fountain type thing?
Yeah, because there is.
You drink out of it.
Yeah,
also.
one that you just turn and it automatically shuts back off. Janice actually pulled it up the other day.
Yeah, they're like less than 100.
Right, and I think it would be great, so
We
that's
have
my.
water out there, I mean.
Yes, right, that's what I'm saying, so that would be the
I
perfect
turned it
place
on,
for
the
it.
water came out.
What's that?
I turned the
It
spigot,
did?
no water.
We have it
came
turned
out.
off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Exactly,
shut that down.
right, for a reason, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And the other wish list was, or I asked Michael what he thought about putting another dog waste station at the far end of the park. He thought it wasn't a bad idea, so that's my wish list for the 2026 board, just saying. So now I'll read. Oh, garbage cans, there's many things for the 2026 board wish list. Michael's report, he has his daily duties, of course, listed here, and since the last board meeting, monthly shoulder mow complete for this month, sidearm currently on Wiley Street working my way down, scraper started on Nohea Street working my way up. Other topics, note to residents, please stay clear of the sidearm when operational. I know residents want to watch the sidearm, but if the work is very dangerous. I will start applying fire ant treatment in the playground. I have a quote to replace the 2 front tractor tires on the sidearm, which will need board approval. I know it's protocol to get 3 quotes, but RMG is the only company that will bring in tractor tires. Once approved, it will take 3 weeks to come in. Last time the front tires were changed was in 2018. Please contact the office if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
That tire company is the one we've used. For
Right. And this is this wish list, yeah.
I inspected the tractor with Michael, and
Oh.
there's cracks in the
Oh, yeah.
side of the tire that you could like put a pen in the actual tread because of the weight of the tractor. One tire has clearly like 2 inches higher tread, and the other one's just like scuffed down to nothing, so. And he swapped them to get maximum time out of them. So it's not like, something, spend the money. He's very resourceful about extending the life of things.
People have contacted me, or this past month, like twice, where you're coming out on Leilani Avenue, you can't see around the corner because the foliage has just grown too much.
Yeah.
And so we just text Michael or, and tell him, middle of the night, I sent him a text, I said, Michael, tomorrow you gotta, cut down cane grass at Miley Street. Anyway, so he does go out and do that stuff first thing in the morning if people are crying about it. So anyway, see if anybody says it to you, just give us a screen because he can do that. And, yeah, even on Leilani Avenue, you have to do it on the corners because the county's not doing it often enough.
Yeah, he's done that in the past and trimmed around the corners.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple quick things here. I would like to make a motion that we order a load of black cinder, which can be delivered December 22nd or before. And I don't know the exact cost, it depends on weight, of course. But that's for our work party,
Yeah.
January 6th. Yeah, we're on the list,
Okay.
waiting list. And I called her the other day to make sure we were, and she said yes, and it could possibly be before. So, but I just need, I think, approval for to do so with a motion.
Add
It's
chicken
easy.
manure.
You get 32 yards, 8 yards.
It's the biggest truck, I said, one of the
32,
biggest.
the big one.
32? Yeah, Sanford,
You're
yeah.
talking,
800.
No.
not quite that much probably, but yes.
This from Sanford?
Yes.
Our biggest load from them, I think, that's what, 33 cubic yards, something. That was a year ago, it was probably about 750, 740.
Yeah.
800 you catch.
Is there a way you're calculating how much you need, or is it just gonna be like a store load or
Well-
a supply for multiple years?
So my wish list for the 2026 board, see, it's Christmas already. I would like to order then next year, a stockpile of 3/4 inch to have for different purposes.
So
So,
just to compare apples and oranges, when I go to pick up cinder, whether it's black or red, I take an average F-150 pickup truck load. My truck's not outfitted for suited duty or anything like that. It's $20, they'll
Right.
keep that truck. And, I'm not sure you can get those anytime. You can get 4-day, or you could get only 5 days a week. So
right.
if you want to bring them in smaller increments and put them in strategic places, or you want just one.
Time is money. I appreciate
Just
that too.
one load, get it done.
And I'd like to split it, frankly. Michael wants to put half of it over there and half of it here.
Yeah, and you use it all year.
Yeah, well, right, exactly, that over there, and this one here, I'd like around the front, here around these palm trees, around the house here, out around the islands, so, yeah, so kind of a stockpile for the year.
Gotcha.
I believe that charge, about it's either 250 or 275 is basically cost of the truck, the rest is the cinder, so
Probably right, yeah.
that's all I can say.
So you want to make a motion to order it?
Yes, I just wanna make it a motion, because, otherwise, I'm ordering this cinder, I gotta pay for it myself, don't wanna do that. Well, I don't know exactly.
We just gotta say yea or nay.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, it's $100 on cinder, yes.
and some chicken manure with that.
Oh,
So we let the trees die.
And then one real quick thing, I would like to have a board sponsor.
Hold on.
It's the
Sure.
trees. It's.
Should take the I would like to have, and I don't know if this is a motion, it's just maybe a question. I'd like the board to hold a board-sponsored meet and greet immediately following the annual members meeting at the Longhouse, and maybe $100 that the office staff get some cookies and coffee. And it's a way to say thank you to the outgoing board and welcoming the new. And a good time when most people are coming together, so.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you, I'm done.
One thing,
Go ahead.
what was the price of the tires?
She's taking them
$830.
Yeah.
$830
for two.
for one.
Wait,
For what?
For one, they're specialty tires.
This is what they cost.
Yeah, the big ribbed ones.
Yeah.
It looks like a military tire. It's just pull off. So
Yeah, it's
Like $4 each.
I
That's
suggesting,
better.
yeah,
I'm suggesting for expediency, that if the entire board's in agreement, we wait, give the second and third quote,
sure.
and move forward with
There's nobody else that has those tires.
Correct.
We have
So,
those.
exactly.
Your motion, then, I suggest we bring back to the table to approve the purchase of the 2 tires.
Yay.
Okay, yay, second that?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, because that goes down.
Okay.
Architectural committee, moving on, we're moving on.
Thank goodness.
Architectural committee, we've, Jens is not here. One of our players is still ill, not healthy, so, but anyway, we did, Mark alerted me this, couple weeks or so ago to a couple of cars almost across from Al's house. There was a white pickup truck that's stuck in the bushes there. It's like they're tenting back there. Anyway, so, this past 2 weeks since I've been back, we put out three notices, which it means it's a CCNR. I highlight what the issues are, put it in a Ziploc bag with the violation letter saying, hey, you're violating our CCNRs. If you don't, you need to get in an office, talk to us, we got to resolve this. If we're going to start charging $100 a month, fine. Anyway, we put that in a packet, Ziploc bag, and we take it to the property, hang it on the gate or whatever we do. Anyway, on these 2 vehicles, I put it on their windshield wiper. And the next day, well, actually that afternoon, I think it was that afternoon, I come down the road and they're gone. And we haven't seen it since.
Works house.
Across from your house.
What's that?
In the
Across
park?
from your house, right there.
Right, right there?
Yeah, the one the truck that just stuck in there, the white truck.
Oh,
There was a truck
Oh,
out
I
of
yeah, I've been guys backed in there.
Yeah, they were
And
tenting back there.
he's been back there just by hand.
We haven't seen him, I just asked Mark again, we haven't seen him since I put the notice on the windshield, they're gone, so. And I told him, I put I says, move to, Paradise Park, Isla or not involved. I put move to one of those places, because you can do anything there. Yeah, so I give him an option. Anyway, so so we did that, I visited the county office twice last week. With the neighbors on Moku are still complaining about the property with the school buses. And the lady that, I don't know who owns it, but the lady who owns it is just a complete nutcase, I can tell, but she's threatened to throw feces over the wall. These people complain to the county, and I mean, it's just really ugly. So it's gonna get uglier, because I went to the county. The county gave them a letter back. The buses came in 23. The county gave them a letter, said you can't do it, you gotta get the buses out of here, you can't, it's not, it's ag property, the buses don't qualify. They did nothing, they just blew it off, and the county said, we will fine you if you don't, follow through on this. That was in 2023. So I go to the office and I said, look, here's your letter to these people, and here's a bunch of hate letters too, but anyway, you need to start fining a monthly fee, so, So anyway, we're having the health department, health and septic going out there to inspect the property. So anyway, it's gonna get ugly, but we gotta get the buses out of here. And there's 6 buses, they're almost on the back line, they're not, there's no 30-foot setback, I mean, so anyway, we gotta get rid of them. And then the other thing we're gonna do, and that Janice has been working on, is we've asked our attorney to just give us a ballpark figure what it's gonna cost us. We're gonna lien that property also. Because, that property, we're telling them we're gonna charge $100 a month starting January 1st. We'll give you the month of December to get the buses out of there, and we're gonna start charging $100 a month, add it to your assessment on your property. So we're filing liens just so we can get our money back at some point. But we're gonna do a blanket lien on accounts receivable for that are over $1,000. And it's somewhere between 65 and 80 lots here that we're gonna put a lien on.
It's gonna be closer to 200. You only have the first 2 pages.
That are over $1,000 each. So anyway, we're gonna do a blanket lien. We're just waiting for Kit, our attorney, to come back and say, okay, it would be about this much per property. We told him how many we're doing, like I told him, 65 to 80. So he's got a number to run with, and then we just gotta, if we agree to it as a board, then we just send him the paperwork and he will file the liens. So we are gonna do that. Well, again, we're gonna regenerate a bunch of hate mail for Kimberly and Cindy, but we gotta go after them. We gotta start collecting our money, okay? Because there's so many properties that over $1,000, and it's only $200 a year, so they're 5-6 years of it. Yeah, so anyway, we're doing that. So that is architectural done.
Also, up on Malama Street, there was a house that was, under tax problems, the people, but the house got burnt down actually. And there was just a garage left and it became a real blight. There's 7 cars set on fire in the driveway and there was another 15 in the backyard. And so it came under new ownership and we were very pleased to see that the new owner pulled all of those cars out and lined them up on the easement of Malama Street, which isn't a pretty sight, but it was progress and they put a fence along the front. Well, there's one thing that, I don't know if you could classify it as a vehicle because it's so crunched and squashed. I see a tire on there and what looks like a pickup truck bed, but they're not gonna take that. They won't tag it because it's technically, it doesn't meet the description of auto, but they've left it there and it's an eyesore. And I'd like to see a message sent to them. They're not living there, but I would move that we take that hunk of metal and pull it back and put it back onto their driveway apron so they know that, or
Put it in front of the garage, yeah.
somehow just
Put it back on the property.
get it so it's not a danger, somebody pulls over and hits it or it's dark, they hit this thing right on the edge of the road, push it closer or something.
Will someone contact the owner?
Well, the new owner, I'm not sure if we have info on that about the new ownership of that specific property, but I can give you a TMK perhaps off using the map to,
Okay,
so we know.
yeah, get it out of there. Lava lots. Jim Penny.
Thank you, good evening. First, let me begin by saying, hey, I'll be as brief as possible because we're running long tonight. The Land Lot Committee since last month, when there was a little bit of criticism of we haven't done enough yet, has met several times. And we've done some extraordinary work based upon a map that was actually done back in 2019 or so by Jay Krakowski, who at that time was the president. What he did here, which differs from up here, this would be considered the accurate reference map. But what Jay did is go down, for example, Nohea Street, north Nohea, and just drew a straight line, basically indicating that all of these were lava lots. The difficulty is some are 100% lava, some are 5% lava. Some are built on, some aren't. Should we build, should we not build? There are competing issues. And so what we did was go through all of the county records one by one. This was a many hour process. Stacy, who's not here, and her daughter, and Chris Burmeister and his son spent lots of time going through the county records, looking at the visuals, which you can find online, of each lot to see where the offsets were, where the lot was, and so on and so forth. And we actually noted on a list that was provided by Janice, these lots, so it's 3 pages wide and 90 or so long. These lots were the ones that actually paid monies that would be considered lava-covered lots. So we went through and looked at the county. Did the county bill them or not? If the county determined, for example, that a lot was only valued at $100, that means the county's not billing it. Other people might be valued at $15,000 or $20,000, so lots of difference. So we went through and basically said refund. The total exposure, and I'll just kind of end with this comment, if we paid back everybody that paid, is somewhere close to about $10,000, more than $9,000. However, by the time we adjust for county purchase lots, it's gone up from a couple years ago, 144 to 188, and now it's 260 or in that range. So they have bought some, paid for some, the other people may or may not have paid, and so it's a little bit complex, but we're in the process of providing Janice a list to make sure that no favoritism whatsoever, people that paid that shouldn't have been billed get their money reimbursed. And we should have that done and report on that by the next board meeting.
All we're trying to do here is clean the slate. Because
Yeah.
2026 is coming up, and 2026, because we don't have the time to get everything figured out. we're saying because a lot of people were billed $100, and a lot of people were not billed $100. Some people were billed on some lots, not on, I mean, the thing is just a huge mess. So we're saying, we're just clean the slot, we're gonna clean the slot, the slate from 2025. And then, so the people that, and we're only gonna give back $100. You got billed with 200, Kim, you got billed 200, you paid 200, didn't argue about it. Look, we don't care. We will reimburse you $100. That's all we're doing. We're reimbursing $100 for all the people that paid for their lava lots. That's it.
So
So it's
that
gonna be less than that, Steve.
Right,
Maybe
that
six-
reduces
six-
liability in the a little bit more than
Right,
$7,000
should be closer to
at the
7,000.
moment. So we dropped down a couple $1,000, but that money will be reimbursed, as you already know. This is a little bit different issue, but last month it was voted by the board. Everybody can vote in the upcoming election, whether they're paid up, not paid, so it doesn't have anything to do with that. What we will do, the Lava Lot Committee will probably have additional people next year, hopefully so. We'll determine, based upon some formulas that have been provided by Jim Friedman, whether this lot should be billed partial, let's say 25%, this one 50%, this one nothing, and so on and so forth, by going through lot by lot by lot. It's a very extensive process, but definitely committed. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks.
I bring this concern about amendments to the creation of bylaws in conflict with the charter. Yes, the bylaws are subservient to the CCR and the charter. The charter basically says the objects and purposes of the corporation. There's several of them listed. The biggest one is to receive and administer funds in the furtherance of the objectives and purposes. The charter 12, the key part is no such amendment shall be made which would change the objects and purposes of this corporation. It appears that any bylaw changes, particularly those that allow law assessments may be in conflict with the charter of the corporation. What I'm saying here is we have to be careful that if you do something on the bylaw, you may not realize you may have affected the charter. Right, and that's beyond us. That's why we have to have legal help, make sure we do it right, and just in general, so everybody understands this, no one anticipated in 1969 that 700 lots were gonna be consumed by lava. And so, for those that said, well, everything's prorated, everyone should have to pay, well, that's assuming that they had driveway access and all kinds of things. There's no way that we will ever be able to repave all of the streets up next, adjacent to Fish Rate and so on. And so, we're in unusual times, and we have to make sure, so I appreciate your comment, Rod, that we do it properly so that it does become legal binding. I want to make this motion that the LCA get an independent legal opinion of the proposed bylaw amendment concerning lava lot assessments to verify its fiscal effect does not change or alter the objects and purposes so dictated by our charter of the corporation. I'm just saying, do that ahead of time. Don't let anybody come in the back door later. I have a copy for Jim.
By the end of this year, Janice will know what it costs to run this place, and what we need for income for the year. And so then we can calculate whether we gotta bill lava lots or not. And, we may just, so for 2027, yeah, they may be billed. If they don't wanna be billed, get rid of the lava lot. That's kind of our attitude on that. All right.
And in addition to that, I was concerned that the bylaw changes do not unduly reward a biased lava lot working group member at the expense of the membership. I think you've already addressed that, but thank you.
Yeah.
And so the motion basically is that we have a legal opinion before you get too far along. Yeah, and again, nothing's happening until next year.
They all know that.
Okay,
They all know
so
that. We don't need it.
we're not changing anything between now and 2026.
Right.
Now, I'm just making the motion that we get a legal opinion on it. We will, going forward. Thank you.
Ron, before you said an independent legal position, opinion, right? Is every single attorney will have their own opinion, right?
All right.
So, isn't one as clear as the next? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Apparently not, if you see what we're gonna get into next.
say that again,
We have another issue I'm gonna bring up, which addresses the different legal opinions of the lawyers.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, John.
thank you.
I'd like to add, if anybody's on Facebook with me, I'm Smiley Burrows, but I posted a really interesting article in regards to Kapoho in the late 50s prior to the eruption, and it discusses a lot of the history of the area and how this area was developed. So yeah, take a look at that, or friend me on Facebook if you want to read it. Talks about a lot of interesting history and how our subdivision was not thought in regards to the East Rift Zone and the aspects of substandard infrastructure that we are facing due to the choices that some rich developers made. So, good read. Okay.
Thank you. CC Narvaez.
Oh, already? Okay. No, Tom, audit prep. This is Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Tom's not
Audit.
here. Whatever, Jim? Did you want to say something about audit prep?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go work on your car. Let's see, do I need to get that? Pretty much the audit has, taken its own turn, but, this last weekend, I kind of went over some of the notes we had last year, and I wanted to bring those out to people, and give everybody a copy. We had, last year, November, we had retained earnings over $1 million. Okay? What I looked at today, we have retained earnings of about $250,000. Now, the thing about accounting is unless you just pull that money out of your brain, it's an addition or a subtraction somehow of figures. I'd like to figure out, and I'm not sure at what point Janice is at, but I think we've had a year to kind of figure out where we're at. Myself, I don't think we're going fast enough, just my own personal opinion. I think we need, sometimes we are not, we don't recognize when we need professional help and we just let it go. But there is $800,000 that I think needs to be accounted for. We had our last people who did the retained earnings. I don't know whether they've been asked where they came up with that $1 million figure, but I think it should be at. I think we're just going along, and I think I appreciate everybody's work that they've gone into it, but at a certain point, I think we got to step it up and get it done, because there's people that are very dissatisfied that we have not done more on the audit over the last year. And as most of the people know, I sat up there for a week calling for an audit, and I believed that we were going to make that a priority. Apparently not. So I think we just need to step it up. I'd like to be a part of it in some way, but I feel the books need to be, and Janice is getting there, but it's been a while, and I think we just need to get moving.
Okay.
And I would like to hand these out. This is last November's books. It was $1 million in retained earnings. I might ask Al how he came up with that figure, if he can remember, if he has any notes. But unless you just, not off top of your head, maybe you could look into that. But I can't figure out whether we're going up or we're going down. As a businessman who did, for 30 years, did my own books, I needed to know whether I was going up or going down. And right now, I feel like I don't have a handle on it. So
Well, and just for me, not being an accountant or anything, I would love an audit for sure. Forensic audit, I know is expensive, and then for me, what is the net gain? Versus what could we gain with what it costs to have a forensic audit, that's all.
Sure.
In one of them, I'm gonna be reading, the motions that were discussed at the first annual members motion meeting. I think we need more hands in there.
Good.
And there's a motion that will address exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
And what Mary Ann's just emphasized.
But I think if we need to go, to a higher level, let's go to a higher level.
Okay, and also this, I showed you before, these retained earnings started in 1995 and accumulated over the years to equal.
Well,
So mine at 250,000 for 3 years is pretty much,
okay, so you started at zero.
I started at 0.
You started at zero. So we have to look at, so that $1 million, and $1 million was in November.
But this is.
I think the end of December, but I don't, see, Janice, I don't wanna talk about it. I want numbers that add up to $1 million.
We don't have $1 million.
I really fucking know.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
But where it went, I don't know.
Okay,
We don't need.
thank
So-
you, thank you,
Okay.
thank you. So Janice, the two of you will get together and,
Oh, me and her.
Tom?
I can't explain.
No,
it.
No need.
Okay,
no need.
okay.
So,
CC and our bylaws,
okay. So.
treatment.
Last month, we had, a meeting at the pavilion where people came to propose motions. There was no voting on the motions out there. There was discussion and ideas, and we came up with 5, and I'm gonna try and read them as quickly as I can, but also in a way that I don't rush through and just blab it all out. So the first one I'll mention is a change, and I don't know if people want their names put with the motions or just read them as they are. So the first motion was to change the bylaws so that directors are elected to a 2-year term. Each year, we would elect half of the board, the first year, 4, the second year, 3, then repeat, so that terms are staggered by 1 year. This change will foster better continuity and consistency in our boards and make it easier to persevere on multi-year projects. I believe there was a board that tried this like in 2019, 2020 roughly. I think Robin Golden spoke to this briefly at the last meeting, and it just seemed to me that with the larger projects that we have going on here, getting the finances being one of them in order, that consistency would definitely be a key. And also in my experience, if you have people that have been on the board that have know-how and that have experience with all facets of the duty that you're elected to, it's so helpful. That was the first one. Bear with me a second. I gotta excavate these. Okay. Next one. And see, there's a motion to update our building guidelines and restrictions. I just talked to a person today about this very thing, and so, yeah. Although we think of our community as a residential community, all of the lots in Leilani Estates are classified as agricultural. There have been extensive changes to the laws that govern the use of agricultural land. State Statute 205, 4.5, and 4.6, for example, are changes in county building codes. Last major update in 2021. That affects how we build and use land in our community. Our governing documents and state laws are very clear. State laws and county laws and rules take precedence over our documents. We need to create and update a set of community building and land use rules based on the changes to the law so that everyone in our community is clear on what can and cannot be done. This will enable the architectural committee to enforce a single standard set of rules. We require that the 2026 board commission a comprehensive review of current laws and codes to develop a new set of building and land use rules for our community. This must be a line item in our budget for 2026 and used as a part of calculating assessments. This process must include a legal review by the corporate council and a review with county authorities. The new rules must be finalized by March 31st, posted on the website prior to the April regular board meeting, and formally presented at the April regular board meeting. Just bear with me one second. The new building land use rules will be attached to our CCNR's addendum and will be used by the Architectural Committee in all future reviews. We recognize that these new rules are binding to our community as our governing documents explicitly state that they can be superseded by state and county laws and regulations. No vote of the members is required, so we are not changing our CCNRs. We are clarifying what the laws allow us to enforce.
That's not gonna happen before March though, so go on.
I think that was quite a comprehensive overview of it, but I felt it was awesome. Okay, this is another one. Change the bylaws to mandate an annual audit in December prior to our board of directors election and the treasurer's final report at the annual meeting. Currently, audits are performed at the request of the board. This change makes an audit part of the annual schedule of our association. December is mandated to ensure any problems are known prior to the election and that the treasurer presents audited results to us at the annual meeting. It also ensures that the records handed over to the new treasurer are complete and accurate. Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. Here's another one. Change the bylaws so that any director who misses 3 consecutive monthly meetings has resigned from the board and must be replaced. Our community needs active directors, each helping with all the work involved in governing our community. I'm not going to comment on, I'm just going to read them and then.
We're fine.
Change the bylaws so that LCA and their representatives, the board of directors, must settle all disputes with members and outside entities, like vendors, via mediation and then binding arbitration.
Very good.
Good.
I think one thing, is that all?
Good call, Mr.
Okay, so, anyhow, that's what, Jim Friedman had been working on. He can't be here this evening, so, there'll be more motions talked about, at the annual members meeting. But the idea, I believe, was to start working on it so we can figure out which ones are the most sought after changes, with some that are required more than others. But, excuse me, that's it. Elections.
Elections.
They basically, I'm just going to skip around on this one. Kimberly and I, along with Cindy, have worked very hard on the election committee, as we've already noted. We've engaged with Election Buddy. We're very pleased about that. Hopefully, this will be the first of many years of electronic voting. We'd love to do it 100% and have no paper ballots whatsoever. That's not feasible, probably not feasible within the next 4 or even 5 years. There's just too many people that just won't vote electronically, but we're going to do our best. So to the degree that people can provide their email to us, we will commit to not use that for any purposes, meaning notify the public of your private information. So it's only for the purposes of communicating from Leilani to the membership, and that would be for any motions, any unusual mailings, or any, election and balloting and so on. That's part one. With regard to the ballots, and no offense here, John was just reading what he was provided, the motions, because we're allowed 3 pages for $2.99 for each mail out. The motions themselves, which can be contained basically in a single sentence, that's what is going to be on the election document that is sent out. Not all the rationale and the explanation and the justification. That will take up numerous pages. That information will be posted onto the website. Probably based upon the number of people that run for the board, their bios will also be on the website. So the ballot will contain the names and there'll be a link. Go here and you can read the individual bios and so on and so forth. We have this month, November 30th, nominations to be in. Anybody that's looked at their calendars should recognize November 30th is a Sunday. That's why we have the box over here in the corner. So by 5 o'clock, November 30th, and historically people have been here at 5 p.m. to collect whatever we happen to have, and we'll commit to do that. Nominations must be in. If they're submitted December 2nd, that's too late. November 30th, just for nominations, the actual ballots will be sent to all of the members, either electronically or paper, the first day, actual business day of January. So our target's January 2nd, but certainly within the first 2 or 3 days, because they have to be received back to Election Buddy so that everybody can be notified of the result prior to our meeting on the last Saturday of January. That's the process. Anything else? Okay.
100 words or less?
I think at one point it might have been 250, but something, yeah, 100 to 250.
250 is too many, 100.
Okay, I personally like that too.
So you were gonna give a list of contact information, the names and the addresses and the emails to Election Buddy soon. We're gonna give that information to them soon,
Members list.
emails and everything?
Yeah, well, the next thing on here is members list.
Yeah,
That will not be going to them until sometime in December.
right. What's the cutoff date that we'll give that to them? I mean,
Probably
people get their information.
mid-December.
They have a team that will be working with us
Okay.
on the spreadsheet. That's part of the,
Because I thought someone said earlier that they were going to provide that list in the next few days. I think, so well, there'll be changes between now and then.
I thought I
right?
heard that too. So there's,
Yeah.
part of the process that Election Buddy provides is a team of people from Election Buddy who work with us, with our list, to get it to the degree that they want it to be.
What will be the cutoff date for people voting, like online? Will
I
it be
think
on the
it's
day of the
the
meeting?
week before.
A week
So-
before the meeting?
A week before the annual meeting.
Okay, all right.
And in the meantime, anybody that gets something that's confused can submit questions to Election Buddy. We've agreed that they can handle the questions. I don't know how to do this, how do I fill out that form, what do I do, where do I send it, all of that calls to Election Buddy.
How do we get the results?
They will email to the election committee.
Okay,
We can include the board with that.
I think that's great, yeah.
I do too, so everybody can see, there's no question whatsoever. And by the way, just if people don't realize, every single ballot has a unique identifier. So two people in the same family can't vote. Somebody says, look, I know this guy over that lives in Japan, never has voted, so they can't create some ballot and submit it because it won't have the identifier, so it's secure. They've done 280,000 or some odd election, the whole bunch, and every question that we've asked them, they.
Been there.
I imagine we'll have an administrator who wants to admin login for someone, or is it?
Yes, that's correct,
Who,
yes.
is that our secretary? He's in charge of elections, right? Or who's it? So,
To be determined, but
Okay,
yes,
all right.
I would recommend, as opposed to us, somebody on the board,
sure.
that can log in, and maybe 2 or 3 people that can look at the results, because you can see them,
Our bylaws say that, you know, the secretary should
Yeah.
validate the election. That's why I was just throwing that out tonight.
and you can see,
My understanding is the voting is actually secret. You can't look in and see what an individual actually voted for. Is that?
That's, yes, and it's only by number. So even though you send out, you can determine that John Doe got 87 votes and somebody else got 32 votes on,
Right.
the 10th.
We don't know what the totals are and all the stats and everything else.
Yeah.
We don't know who individuals are.
But that can be audited after the fact.
What, so we're thinking about cutting off, the polls will be closed like the week before or something like, we're still having an annual meeting though? Where the meeting announced?
Annual meeting is the last
Last
Saturday in
Saturday, so
January.
we're talking about maybe it's cut off a few days before that.
Correct.
And so, but will the results be known before?
To the administrator, yes,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So,
but announced at the annual members meeting.
okay, all right.
Yes. Was looking at this handy form, very nice. January 30, election buddy assigns received proxies to individuals for voting on motions in annual meeting. What about the proxies for the nominees? In other words, I'm voting, somebody's going to send me they want to proxy me to do their vote.
It's two separate things, and I may mistake this, but my understanding, Kimberly, trying to keep me straight. The vote for the election is for the board members.
Right.
We have, based on what John just said, we'll include in the election packet 4 or 5 motions. You can vote on those, or you can assign a proxy to someone else for the purpose of representing you at the annual members meeting. Does that make sense on the motions?
On motions, yes.
Yes, because there'll be new motions that are brought up, and so if I assign mine to, for example, Leilani over here, or he assigns me his, at the annual members meeting, we'll know that, and he or I can have 2 votes for the motions, not anything to do with the election.
Yeah, my concern is the proxies for the election. You still plan to have proxies for the election?
It's an interesting topic that's been debated because there shouldn't be proxies. Why? You got a package, vote. Why assign it to somebody else?
Proxies were put there originally because we didn't have electronics. And a lot of people lived off the island, so they gave them, but you had to vote at the meeting. So they gave
Yes.
the proxies to someone who's going to be at the meeting.
Right.
That's how it was happening. But our bylaws haven't changed in that respect, I think.
I don't know because Jim Friedman has some changes, but we'll look
If
at
that
that.
was changed in the bylaws, looks like the proxies are still required.
Well, that's my argument back to Jim Friedman this year. Okay, I can assign, Lana can assign me his proxy to vote, but I still have to have the vote in time, okay, for it to be counted. So 2 different things, proxies for the annual members meeting and a proxy to vote, but that's due in a week or so, whatever the deadline is.
A proxy to vote your candidate.
Yes, for the board, right.
I believe that is a requirement.
I think so too. We'll give you an update personally on that. Yes, ma'am?
About who can vote in June, what did we decide on that?
Everybody. This year, everybody gets to vote regardless of where they stand with regard to liens, foreclosures, dues, anything. If you live in Leilani or Hexham, if you're a member, you can vote.
And to clarify, isn't that because there wasn't enough time by the bylaws, we were supposed to send out notification to any and everyone? That was the reason for this.
We had to tell you that you're not.
Yes,
going to be
correct.
staying.
Right.
Time to do
And you
it.
have to have time to clarify and pay and get current. None of that's going to apply this year, but it will next year. Hopefully, we get that straightened out. Thank you.
Thank you. So that covered the members list also, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
On the members list, maybe, have we ever sent an email out to all our emails that we have anything for anything?
All,
Have we ever tested by saying this?
we sent out
We should test that.
We did a mailing, we told them to give us your email. Mailing, it's a mailing.
but
What, we don't know if all the emails are gonna bounce either, right? Just like our career. What if we took like the critical events on this election coming up, just put together a little thing of dates and email them, see if any emails comes.
We should do that.
I think
Smart, yeah.
I think people appreciate it.
Yeah, this will give.
Because the dates are all different from they were in previous
Are you
years.
gonna do that?
Clarify.
I don't know the dates. If you give me the dates, I'll write it
I
down.
don't, it's another project.
I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do a newsletter.
Nomination.
Or each people ask, please acknowledge receipt of this email.
I'll put that on there, that was part of it too. Yeah. And tell them, we're trying to keep these emails accurate, please acknowledge all.
And save money. An idea could be,
I'll make,
What's that?
Should I make one of those group
I
ones?
don't know. Well, yeah, so, I want to give her a life, everyone else to see it. It's gotta be,
Right,
You
right.
should have blind dates, maybe.
there's another level.
hey, let's do anything on the update on the park grant.
Basically, trying to get a definition of the requirements for the people writing the grant. I've been up to the offices in either 4 times, left Ashley's messages to everybody. I have no replies. Smiley has volunteered next Friday. If I don't get a response, she meets with Ashley the 3rd Friday. So-
Yeah. I'll get the
The
info.
way they worded it was,
Yeah.
okay, good.
We're gonna make sure that they respond and help us through that process.
Kind of, like, this is, a new business.
Right? Is this a new business? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate this opportunity to share with all of you about my role in this community. Thank you so much, Brian, for creating the website for the official Leilani estates. It's beautiful, thank you very much for that, yeah. And the reason why I took that role is because I wanted to encourage and inspire our community to learn about our cultural ways of value for the land, for each other, and the practices of all your values too, that we have an exchange. And it brings us into the one mind, one heart, where we can accomplish what we set out to do. So having those goals and like-mindedness, I think that we can be the beacon for other communities to know that Leilani is like the lady, that adorns you. And we have a beautiful history. Kelly came through Tiahi Alapa. Tiahi Alapa means the fire in the sky. So when the 2018 eruption came through, that's who we saw, the goddess Lapa, who is the forest. And Kelly, and of course, Aila'au was awakened because he was the original lava, the creator. And when Pele came from Tahiti, she came through Leilani from Kumukahi all the way up to Halemaumau, where Aila'au decided to go somewhere else and offered her Halemaumau as her home. And so it's interesting how 2018 that they came down together, that's Pele, that is nature. Pele means lava. And when she comes, she takes her time, she gives you time to pay attention and take what you need. And really, well, there's all these things that we need. Sometimes it can be a burden. Sometimes it can be too much to look after. So I think that the most important thing is your heart and your soul and your spirit of how we engage with one another and help each other. And all of us have a contribution for our community to grow and prosper and be what it is. That's why I came here. That's what I was called here. And each one of you too.
Thank
Right? So acknowledge each one of you too. Be the light that you are. Too much darkness in the world. Let's be the change. Blessings to all of you.
Thank you. We don't,
Ron, help with this.
it's your business.
Yeah. I had previously submitted a request to see the 3 quotes, request for quotes for legal services as required by our procurement policy. I was submitted a request to see the contract we have, if we actually have a lawyer like you say we do, a corporate attorney. Previously, John is saying that I don't have access to that requirements, but I do. I have the right to see the legal contract per 421J7, documents of the association, part A and C. And as a board member, I don't need a notarized affidavit. Members have a right to see the records, including the legal contract with Mr. Hong, including the retainer, the wage pay agreement, is per 421J-7E. But members may be required to submit the request in writing. For 414D-3OT, inspection of records by members. A member is entitled to inspect and copy any of the records of the corporation with a written 5-day notice. 414D-304, if records not provided, a member may approach the courts for compliance at the board's expense. 414D-306.5, inspection of records by directors. Directors are entitled to inspect and copy records. No written request is required. If denied, the Circuit Court of Hawaii County, the court shall dispose of an application on an expedited basis. And C, may order the corporation to reimburse the demanding director's costs, including reasonable attorney fees. Before I make this motion, that the LSA corporate attorney, so declared by Richard Willing on October 9th with Jim Penny's permission, to confirm and explain the President Willing's written statement that legal counsel confirms that you have no reason to see this contract in light of 421J and 414D. Any second?
We're following the legal counsel, and he says it is not available.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
And we have a second?
No.
Discussion? I pointed out it's really plain and clear.
But the legal counsel says, no, we don't give it to anybody.
And
we don't
I'm
share it
making
with
a
anybody.
motion that you have your legal counsel write that in black and white and sign it so I can see it. So when I go to the courthouse, I want to make sure that you and he are involved. Thank you. So you're refusing the motion?
Yeah, refuse the motion, yeah.
No, you can't refuse the motion. You vote yes or no.
No.
I vote yes.
No. No.
I
We vote no.
I would vote no, but I'd like to give you a little explanation that may help with people understand why we're in this position, if you want to hear it. And that is that currently a board member is filed a legal complaint against the attorney. And that brings about a shift in position that the attorney has to take in what's discussed with board members that are filing complaints and or harassing the attorney at his office. The attorney has received multiple harassing phone calls from members of Leilani that are involved with the board member who filed a complaint.
Under fake names.
Under fake names. And there's an assessment being taken right now of how to deal with that. And so there's circumstances that aren't normally talked about, that it's occurring right now. Even though the lawsuits have been dismissed, we find ourselves in a quandary where people in the community have taken it upon themselves to harass a business person that represents us, and also he's under attack because of claims made by board members. So that's what
The office of legal counsel.
You're saying we have legal counsel. I don't know we've had legal counsel. I don't see the contract. I don't see the agreement. I don't
Why do
see
you care? Why do you care if you have legal counsel? I don't understand. Why do you
It's
need to know?
very important that we have legal counsel.
And as a board, we're saying we are, so believe us, okay?
I don't believe you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Smiley,
Let's
wait,
move
we're not
on.
doing votes. Smiley, how do
Let's
you
move
vote?
on. Let's move
We're
on.
not done with the vote.
We voted
The
no.
vote started.
We voted
Smiley,
no.
you've not voted.
I'm abstaining.
John, how do you vote?
I vote no.
No.
Janice, how did you vote?
Abstaining.
Thank you very much.
Open forum. let's move on to open forum, anything going on in the, go ahead.
I just want to point out, especially to Rod, and I have no offense personally against Rod, but he was provided this document, as was Al and Janet. Janet was not there at the election in 2024. It's 15 pages long. Not only have they seen it, they have had depositions within the last couple months concerning this particular document and their lack of providing it to both the D&O insurance company and to their attorneys, which is a reason why the D&O insurance is in dispute. But this particular document itemizes for 15 pages a history of violations of 421J, where I submitted copies here, notarized requests for documents that are allowable by law. And the reason there was a lawsuit, which really pisses me off to have to tell you this, is you all went 17 months, that's virtually a year and a half, without providing a single financial document, which you're required to do by law. And it's not a lie.
Let the speaker speak, let the speaker speak.
And thus I filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit has been settled, so we're done with that. But when you have the audacity to say, here's a violation, here's what, you guys were in violation for 2 full years.
Of everything.
Of everything. We settled it, it's over. But it takes a lot of gall to stand up and say, you guys aren't doing this, when you didn't do. By the way, have we ever seen, has anybody here ever seen the contract with Hario?
No.
No, shouldn't get permission.
Or the contract that they signed with the D&O insurance carrier, say, yeah, we got nothing going on, there's no reason for them to sign us. It was totally fraudulent, and D&O attorneys.
So why would
are
you
saying-
pick the attorney that he picked to sue me as our corporate attorney? Do you think we're gonna get along? Do you think there's any bias there? Do you think there's a conflict there?
No,
That's a
he worked
violation of
very
individual
well
rules.
with us.
And that's why we should be
He worked
picking.
very well
Pick a
with
different
us.
attorney, it all goes away.
Okay,
Anything else?
I don't say, let's let dead dogs lie. You guys just won't do that. So I'm sorry for that and for you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Is it open forum?
Open forum, yes.
Please, please.
Yes.
Aloha. O Sonoy Kolinoa. My name is Sonoy. I'm from Oahu. Been having the planet, to go out to heal my heart, to come back to these islands. My ancestors called me home. Now I come home and I come to Leilani. My ancestors want me to steward land in Leilani, and now I am here. I come to tell you that the spirit of the land is not happy. The ancestors are not happy with the energy that is happening right now. The host cultures of this entire planet have the solution of where the vibration is. And the host culture of these lands have the ancestor wisdom to bring harmony back into this vibration, so we the people can get along. What I came here tonight to witness what is happening. And I can see there is no harmony, there is no balance, and there is no clarity. There needs to be an audit for people to see where their money is going, so we can be in a unity, in lokahi. Aloha stands for principles to unite the people of this land. And that is the ancestor wisdom of our kapunas. Our kapunas do not speak because they are grieving the sadness of what is happening to these lands. There needs to be ancestor wisdom brought back. The ancestors are not happy. The spirits are not happy. Tutupele will come back. Again, there needs to be ancestor wisdom. There needs to be clarity. There needs to be lokahi. There needs to be the principles of aloha. I've been traveling the United States teaching the essence of aloha. All of America is lost. The principles are not honored. Aloha spirit is the codes that can help the people come together. There needs to be an opening to invite the kapunas who do not want to come out so they can feel welcome. and share the wisdom so we can have proper guidance so the land and the people can come back together as one. There is so much disruption. Hawaii is the solution. I've been walking the planet. Aloha is the solution. We come back to the principles of aloha. We heal our hearts within ourselves and we can come together in unity. There needs to be clarity. There needs to be a willingness to come together. There needs to be a ho'oponopono. So we can all feel heard and we can all feel seen and there's no war. There is so much war on this planet. We, in the Aloha essence, the people of this land, can be a great example of all the world to follow. It is our kuleana. If we take up residency and stewardship on this land, it is our kuleana to bring the Aloha spirit, to show the world so they can be inspired to come home to the heart and to come together in unity as one humanity. So I come tonight to make presence, to witness what is occurring. And to make it known, the message from the ancestors is to come together in unity. The spirits of the land, all lands, are speaking very loudly in all cultures, in the Amazons, in the Native Americans, in the Europeans, all of the culture, all of the natives are rising and the spirits are speaking and we must honor that or all of humanity will not come together and we will end as a human collective. It will be over. This is the last call from our ancestors and from the spirits of the land to find a way, to find a solution, to utilize the ancestral wisdom to give us clarity so we can heal our hearts and come together in unity. This community can be an inspiration for others to follow. So I feel that we should open and become welcoming to the kapunas who do not want to show face. And ask them, and humbly ask them to share the mana'o and share the wisdom so we can be guided well and bring harmony back onto this earth, starting from the Big Island of this community. Mahalo nui for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
That sounds petty. Go Caroline.
Rough one to follow.
Thank you so much for that. I just want to say, this is just about, it's just a little thing, but I think it just keeps going and going and it doesn't get resolved. It's just, for example, social media. There's these different Facebook pages, whatnot, etc. Some of you are on them, some of you administer them. There's a lot of people that are going on there commenting, slandering, defaming, just being really ruthless and really awful. And I've been one of them, and a lot of you have been attacked. I feel like if the board of directors are administering any of those pages and you're not saying anything to those individuals that are being disrespectful, you're complicit. So I think that you should develop some type of policy, especially as board of directors. If you're speaking and you're going to say something, how are you saying it? Are you saying it on behalf of the board or as a member of this community? I think that has to be very clear. So I would propose that you consider developing some type of policies for social media so that everybody's on the same page moving forward and that you prevent this further divide that keeps happening on these sites because it's not helpful to our community. So thank you.
Just one comment there. We had an executive session recently. Okay.
I would propose now that all the board of directors, if you're willing to abstain from social media, commenting about other board members or about members in the community in a negative light, that's not the role of the board, is to do that. So I would put my hand up first and say, I don't participate in social media, what's going on. If I have free fruit, I make a post saying I'm putting my free fruit out here, or if something happens, somebody needs help with something, but I don't go on there, I don't speak. I am the spokesperson in a way for the board, the secretary, so I'm very vigilant about what I say, and it only inflames in my opinion, when people are, I mean, the stuff that was on there today, my head was spinning. I mean, the absolute falsehoods, easily proven falsehoods. So I would raise my hand and say, I will continue not to use social media. And if anybody on the board wants to join in on that, to pledge not to use social media in that way, to harm others, to go after others, to make accusations that have no bearing to the truth. I would appreciate your support on that.
I think just to add one thing, sorry, is it okay if I say one more thing? Just if you see things like that happening, then your job as directors is to encourage the community to come in and voice their concerns, not use social media to blast and, I mean, you can air out, you can do whatever, you have the right to say that, but you as a board, that should be a concern to you. These people are saying these things about other board of directors that I sit with. These are my peers, and I should be respectful of it, regardless of the differences that you have and disagreements, whatever, you are a team. You're, and so I think that the board of directors should, at that point say, hey, I understand you're concerned about this. Why don't you come to the next meeting so we can hear you out and listen to what you got to say? Hey, why don't you come in and set up a meeting and we can all, you can meet with that person and hear it from them instead of believing, these conspiracy theories or these making assumptions that aren't even true. So that's your job too. Your goal is to, take care of the part, take care of this, take care of our finances, but also join us, get us all together, moving in the same direction, so anyway, thank you.
That's everything unless, we adjourn this meeting, it's 9 o'clock.
Second.
All right, meeting's adjourned. Thank you so much,